back to Clean with Kate. This week we are in Zone 1 on the Flylady cleaning system, and Zone 1 is the entrance to the house. So as it's a lovely sunny day, I'm going outside and I'm going to do a bit of tidying up at the entrance to the house. So if you'd like to come and join me, I'm just going outside. Are you coming? No, I think he's... Are you coming? Are you coming with me? Yes, I think he is. Okay. So I'm just going to have a quick look around here, and I'm going to do some tidying up. I'm also going to collect some seeds. So I bought a stainless steel container out. I've got my gardening gloves and I've got my snips. So I'm just going to have a look what's going on here. I've also got a bucket actually, which would be useful for collecting seed. And I've got a bucket for putting sort of things that I want to compost in. So it's a lovely sunny day. I'm going to set a timer though. I'm just going to work in 15-minute increments. Right, so look, where shall we start? I think we'll start right next to the house. So the time is set. I've got my little friend for company. Anyway, so what are you up to this week? Do you follow the Flylady system? Are you working on your zone work? The basics of the Flylady system is that the house is divided into zones. So there are 5 zones, and this week, at the beginning of the month, we're in Zone 1. So Zone 1 in the Flylady cleaning system is the main entrance to your house. And for us, this is the main entrance to our house. It's the cottage entrance. So I've decided, since it's a lovely sunny day, I'm going to focus on the outside. And I'm going to save, I've got some rain forecast maybe later, so I'll probably focus on the inside on the rainy days. So I'm actually, while I'm cutting back things, but I'm also collecting seed for next year off these Cicericians. So I'm just going to cut all the seed off, pop the seed in the bucket because I don't want to waste it. I'm just going to go and spread the seed then where I want the seeds to come up. I'm going to mix all these seeds up. So I just tend to let things come up where they come up and then just spread it around. But this is Cicerician seed. Cicerician is this little plant here. Alright, so it just gives it, I'm just tidying up really, and then I'm going to water I think as well. Because it's been incredibly dry, although having things like that, if we're going to get rain, I may not need to water. We haven't had much rain recently, so we're desperate for some rain. So I'm just basically tidying up so that it's easy for somebody coming to the house. They're not tripping over things, and it just makes the entrance to the house look tidier. You need to do this at this time of year. I'm just going to deadhead I think next. So I'm just going in here and I'm going to deadhead these little spent flowers off here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Oh, it's really warm out here, so I don't think I'm actually going to last very long. I'm also going to do a little bit of weeding. Because if you have a look in here, we've got some holly bushes, standard holly trees in here. And actually, there's things coming up in these planters that shouldn't be in here that are going to be overgrow. So that plant is too big. That plant is too big. That's too big. There's some weeds in there as well that I need to get out. I've planted some bedding plants in here, and I just need to deadhead these to keep them flowering. So I'm just it's basically just a really quick little tidy up of the plants at the entrance to the house. I'm going to do a little bit of cutting back as well. So I've got some autumn crocuses that have just come into flower here, which are lovely. I'm really pleased with those. I'm just going to cut the hollyhock leaves off so we can see the autumn flowering crocuses better, and I'm going to deadhead these little annuals. I don't know if I might save that seed, that might come up. And I'm going to just take that off there, just so that there's less leaf in the way and we can see the flowers. Right, it's a little bit more deadheading to do. I'm doing this very imperfectly. Right, and I also need to collect the seeds off these hollyhocks that have finished flowering. The seeds have dried out now, so I'm going to use a different container for those because I want to keep them separate. I'll bring my stainless steel container over. I can see I'm not actually going to end up doing that much tidying up. I'm going to end up oh my goodness, there's so many seeds on here. I think I'm just for now going to pop the seeds heads in there, because then I can take the seeds out the seed heads later on. And I want to spread some seed around. I'm just going to spread some seed back here, and I'm going to pop that stick into here. can hear the church bells in the background. Right, I've got some plants in here again that shouldn't be in here. So I will need to sort of get in here and I'm going to cut that down, that hollyhock. I'm just going to pop the seeds down on the ground where I want them to come up next year. They'll be my new hollyhocks for next year. There are plants growing in here that shouldn't be growing in here. I've got Nicotiana coming up in here, which is not something I want in there because it's too large. And I've got weeds coming up in here as well. I've actually got a dandelion in here, which I don't want in here. I'm just going to pull that out, do a bit more deadheading. Sorry, you're not getting a very good view. There you go. The noises in the background that you can hear are the church bells and my husband cutting logs, chopping up logs, ready for autumn. While it's nice and dry, we want to get all the logs chopped up and put away into the log store. Right. I'm going to keep going with these hollyhocks and spreading. I'm going to spread the seed here because I want more baby hollyhocks. And the hollyhocks are biannual, which means they don't flower on their first year. Where's my container gone? Okay, let's pop a few more in there. I think I need a bigger container. I've got so many seeds. I always save seed from my hollyhocks so I can have lots more coming on. Because some of them will get through the winter and they'll flower again next year, but some of them won't. And they do take 2 years to get to flowering size, so it's always good to have new ones coming on. Right, I'm going to stop that with these seed now. I'm just going to cut this back. I'm going to go back to tidying. This is valerian, which sells seeds, so I'll pop that in there. It's a white valerian. I'm just going to deadhead the rose over here, because then that rose will come back into flower. And actually, I'm probably going to feed my roses in my pots today. Hope you can see. It's quite tricky when you're gardening to give a good view. Right, I'm going to cut this hollyhock down. I should have bought a bigger container for the seeds. I'm just going to pop those in there. Definitely need a bucket, don't I? That's not a big enough container. I've filled that container already, just with two or three plants. So I'm just going to tidy up in here, take these hollyhock leaves off, to let a bit of light get to the rose. So the object of this is really just a bit of a tidy up, just to prolong the flowering season, a bit of deadheading, just to make the entrance to my house look tidier and cared for. I had a friend come round the other day who is really tidy, much tidier. She's a very tidy gardener. And I sort of was showing around the garden because we do like to visit each other's gardens for inspiration and motivation. Anyway, and she looked around and I said, I have got quite a lot of tidying up to do. And she goes, yes, you certainly do have. And she looked like she was thinking, oh my goodness, how are you ever going to get on top of all of that? But you know what, I'll just do it. I'll just do it 15 minutes at a time. And my garden's always a little bit messy. I'm a messy gardener. There's always stuff lying around. Always have projects on the go. But our garden is very wildlife friendly. It's the advantage of not being too tidy in the garden. Wildlife actually likes the untidiness. Like we have log piles lying around waiting for us to deal with the logs. And that's very good for wildlife. And all these sticks that I leave lying around, birds use them to build their nests with. Right, so at the moment I'm just cutting these hollyhocks down, which are pretty much finished. And I'm spreading the seed around. I'm going to take some seed over here. And just spread some more seed over here, I think, where I want them to come up. Right. I have lots of baby plants coming up here. These are Nicotiana. We used to have a beautiful Nicotiana plant here. And it must have seeded all over because the original plant died. But I've got all these babies, but I don't want to weed them out. I want them, golly, is that one of the Nicotianas? I think it is. But it's really gone over. I don't really want that there. It's fallen over. Let's get rid of that. The problem is that there's now so many plants here, it's actually obstructing the entrance. So I do need to pot some of them up into pots and then get rid of the rest. There's just too many for me to cope with. All right, what else have I got over here? These more valerian to cut back. There's lots of cutting back to do. I think I'm gonna, these are ready to disperse, so I'm gonna collect the seed off this, which is a wildflower, and I am going to put it in my bucket of seeds, so I can go and spread it somewhere that I want to see flowers next year. So I'm just getting the seeds off the heads. Most of it's gone in the bucket. I'm just going to spread a bit about here. Where else do I want them to come up? Might spread a bit around here. Okay, and that can go, the rest of it can go into the compost. I've got most of the seed out now. What else do I want to do? I'm going to do a little bit more cutting back. There's a bit more seeding going in there. I'm going to do some weeding. There's lots of weeds coming up here. I'm just going to get the worst of the weeds out. Sorry, I'm going to stand up because you can't really see anything down there. As you can see, it is quite overgrown here. But you know, there is a lot to do. But I'm just going to do what I can because it's very warm today. I'm going to cut this back a little bit to see if it will shoot. And then I think I might change tasks because I've been cutting back fruit. Oh, I've managed to kill that. I think really that's had it. So I just think that's got to go in the compost. It was a little lavender in a pot. Now it's a dead lavender in a pot and an empty pot. So I made a decision on that. So that was decluttering. Right, how have I done with the roses? Have I got all the dead heads off? No. Let's focus back on the dead heading because this rose may come back into flower again. It's a repeat flowering rose. So if I give it a feed, I might get it to flower again. Let's pop that in there. Oh, I've got more dead heading here. I'm just going down to do it. So I want to keep these daisies flowering. I've got a bit of seed I can collect here as well. This is an oxeye daisy. I really like wildflowers. Oh, why did I put that in there? I really like wildflowers, they're my favourites. Right, what else? Oh, I've got some things here that I need to tidy up. I've got a plant that's fallen over. In fact, I think that's a pretty much dead plant. So I'm going to pop that in there. I'm going to put some hollyhock seed in there. I think that one might have shed all its seed. So I'm being quite radical now, going in here and cutting things back. Oh golly, I think I might be getting bitten. I should have put some insect repellent on. Our garden's very insect friendly because we don't use pesticides, but it does mean you get bitten a lot. We have lots of spiders and ants, and we have red ants. We have all sorts going on in our garden, as well as the normal biting insects. Right, I'm just going back here to have a look what's going on. Have I got much deadheading to do in here? And yes, I've got weeding coming up in my planter, so I'm going to get that out. I'm really pleased with these planters. They've done really well this year. I think it's because we had a lot of rain early on. But now my task for this week is to cut back all these hollyhocks and to collect most of the seed. So that is quite a big job. How am I doing for time? 1 minute 58. I think I might just keep going with a bit of cutting back. Just tidying up the worst of it. These two here are looking really messy, so I'm going to cut them down. I might cut that one out. And that one. Okay. They may reshoot, but they may not. That might be it for them. So I'm just going to spread some seed about so that we get some more baby hollyhocks. I can't save all the seed. There's so much of it. There we go. So just spread it about where I want them to come out. And then this is all going to go into the compost bin. Not the compost bin, sorry, the compost heaps. And I'm going to cut these back. The idea of this gardening session, this 15-minute gardening session, is just to make progress on the cutting back, ready for the going into sort of late summer, early autumn, and to spread my seeds about. because most of these plants in here, they're either annuals or biannuals. So yeah, for next year and the year after, I need to spread my seeds about, otherwise I won't have any flowers. Right, what else? Oh, there's another one here that's looking very much like it's ready for cutting back. Golly, yes, that is really past its best. In fact, I think that plant has probably had it. Yes, if you look, you can see it's actually rotting off. So let's get that one out. Let's spread the seeds so we get lots more baby ones. These are really easy. You just spread them about where you want them. Sometimes I lay the entire head down if I want a lot of plants. I've been growing these hollyhocks now for about, oh my goodness, probably about 15 years. I've grown them in this garden. Oh, this isn't looking good. This has got on the lean. I probably need to turn this round. I bet it's rooted through the bottom there. I might get my husband to do that because that looks like it might be a heavy job. So this hollyhock here is rotted off. So I'm going to pull it out at the base. Oh my goodness, that's a hard job. Sorry about that. Oh, right, I think I'm going to need a breather. Let's just cut this one down. I thought you might enjoy a bit of outdoor activity with me, seeing as it's a lovely Sunday and the lovely church bells are ringing in the background. My timer on my wrist is going, so I think I'm going to change activities now and just give you a little look at the front of the cottage. And this is the other entrance to the house. Now I'm going to work on this next, I think. I need to do some watering and some deadheading in here. So I've just reset my timer for 15 minutes. It's lovely and cool in here. So I think I might do this next. Here we go. Going in here. Nice cool job. So I'm just going to deadhead these geraniums in the entrance. You may have gathered, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I like plants. I'm a really keen gardener. And so we have plants everywhere. Sometimes an overwhelming number of plants. They all take a bit of looking after when the weather's like this. Let's have a look on the other side. I hope you can see what I'm doing. It's a little high maybe. I'm just taking the dead heads off these geraniums. And then I will be giving them a water and a feed later to keep them flowering. Okay, that's a bit better. Oh my goodness, I could do with coming and brushing this entrance out. I think that's another job for this week, because you can see that all the leaves are starting to fall and collect. Oh, I've got some more seed here I need to disperse. These pretty little orange flowers. So let's just get the seed to disperse, and I can keep on tidying up. I'm going to tidy this oxeye daisy up next. Just cut it down so we get some more flower. And again, I'm just going to disperse any seed that there is. I'm not going to. I can't save all the seed. There's too much of it. Another hollyhock to cut down. I'm going to disperse the seed lobe around here so we get more hollyhocks. I'm nearly done. I've nearly filled a bucket. I reckon when I filled a bucket, that's time to stop. This Flylady I'm going to cut back. It is still flowering, but it's sort of kind of getting in the way a bit, so I'll just disperse the seeds and I'm going to compost the rest of it. I think I'll get another flush on it probably. If we have a mild autumn, we should get some more. Okay, what else? Come on, keep going, Kate. Don't flag now. Just keep going on tidying up the entrance. All right. There's always a lot of tidying up to do at this time of year. It's getting to very end of season in the UK in our gardens, and we've had a drought, so everything is looking pretty tired. Even this rose is looking quite tired. It's been droughted. Anyway, I've made a start. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a break, have a drink, and then come back to it. Although I have just spotted I want to cut this back, so I'm just going to keep going with this for 2 more minutes. Right. Let's pop that in there. I've got a full trug now of clippings, so I'm going to take that to the compost heap, and I'm going to call that a day. Anyway, Oh, thank you for joining me for 15 minutes tidying up at the entrance to the house. I hope you're having a good weekend. Bye for now.